Are we getting into some Mad Max stuff? Is Mad Max slowly showing itself? You wouldn't believe how theft is surging across the United States with cargo. Food and beverage, the top targets in SHTF 2023. What you need to know coming right up. If you guys are brand new here to our awesome community and you like prepping tips, emergency preparedness how-tos, and news like this that could affect you, be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. I want to thank today's sponsor of the video, Genesis Gold Group. With bank run crisis, the value of our money dropping at a rapid rate, with the slow, steady rise, dependability of precious metals and gold, it's no question why so many people are switching their IRAs or part of their IRAs to gold-backed IRAs. With Genesis Gold Group, we're talking about real gold, even gold that can be sent to your house. The call and information is free, so give Genesis Gold Group a call. Let them know Cohen sent you. So when I saw this email by our community member Jack, he sent this one in. CNBC Report that cargo theft, led by food and beverage, is surging across the United States. And I'll tell you what, this is definitely concerning. When the big-time targets become food and beverage, what type of times and what type of road do you think we're headed down? One of their key points on this article, cargo theft continues to climb, with freight criminals targeting more cities across the United States and making more use of cyber scams and identity theft. And we're gonna get into that last part in a future video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Food and beverage products are at the top of the targets for freight theft in 2023, with an average loss of $214,000. Food and beverage, folks. Food and beverage. And Los Angeles is the top national target, but the threat is spreading across the country's interior supply chain to an unusual extent, according to the cargo theft expert. If you're anything like me, you would expect luxury cars, jewelry, electronics. Those are the type of things that come to mind to me that should be leading the train on cargo theft. Let's take a look at CNBC's report, State of Freight, and what the experts say.
Now is Scott Cornell. He is transportation lead and crime and theft specialist at Travelers. Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having us. I'm happy to be here.
So a question you might be thinking, how vulnerable is our nation's cargo?
Cargo moving across the highways, there's always going to be a lot of cargo sitting. So, the old adage is freight at rest is freight at risk. When you have cargo sitting at drop lots, truck stops, loading areas, staging areas, things like that, that cargo is always going to be vulnerable.
Another question asked, where is this cargo getting stolen? Is it on the ships? Is it at the ports? Is it off the highways? Is it when the semi-trucks are sleeping at a truck stop?
When you look at the heat maps that we shared with you, you're going to see the highest concentration around those port cities and around those port areas. But that's not the only reason that they are in, or that we see theft at those areas more often than other areas. The other things those places have in common are high population density, usually very strong economies, arterial highways that are coming into that area, industrial areas, warehousing. All those things come together and create sort of a perfect storm where you're going to find a lot of cargo.
Super interesting. Let's take a look at that map one more time, because I know a lot of you guys out there are wondering, how close am I to freight theft? Am I in a hot zone type of area? Well, take a look at this map. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys are seeing anything like this or hearing about anything like this in your areas. So you might be thinking, is this stuff being stolen right out of the trucks? Or how exactly is that happening?
We really break cargo theft down into two main categories. There's what we call straight cargo theft and strategic cargo theft. Straight theft is still the most common and is the most frequent, and that's where they physically go out and steal it wherever it sits, whether it's in a drop lot, a parking lot, a truck stop, all the areas we named before, industrial areas, waiting to be offloaded, waiting to be checked in. The other main category is strategic theft, and strategic theft is where they basically trick you into giving them the cargo. And that can be through the use of identity theft, double brokering scams, fictitious pickups. The identity theft and the double brokering tend to be the most common in that category. And that is where they will pretend to be a legitimate trucking company, and they will go on the load boards or go on your load board or call you if you're a freight broker or a shipper and solicit the ability to move loads for you. And a lot of times they will get away with it. And as an example, coming into 2023, CargoNet reported a 600% increase in that type of theft coming into 2023. And that's really alarming. And then we were seeing that trend carry through January and February so far. So really coming out of 2022 with really strong momentum in cargo theft in general, but a very big increase in that strategic theft.
So here is a CargoNet incident analysis by commodity. So you can see household electronics and food beverage has been pretty high, and some vehicle accessories are definitely the big hitters. But going into 2023 with a 600% increase, very, very alarming. Now they're saying a driving force to the food and beverage just going through the roof has to do with inflation. Food inflation has moderated is what they say, but remains up almost 10% year over year according to the latest CPI data from February. And honestly, all of us that live life real know that the CPI data, it's not what we see in the grocery store, is it? But they say released earlier this month, meat, poultry, fish, and egg prices fell for the first time since December 2021 in February. But egg prices, a prime example of what historically volatile food inflations remain up 55.4% from a year ago. And I would say that that's partially true. Some of us are seeing 300 to 400% inflation on eggs. Other people still reporting that they're paying $2.50 a dozen. But across the board, I would say most people are seeing 100 to 200% increase from a year ago. And that's with me reading tons of reports and comments coming from our very own community. While household goods and electronics are still high on the list of cargo thieves, now are starting to see food and beverage commodities pull up front, Cornell said. Like I said, 2023, like a 600% increase, that sounds insane. The article also reads, according to CargoNet's latest theft report through February, there was almost a 50% increase year over year in beverage and food cargo theft. January had also posted a 50% increase in the theft category. The average value of the theft is $214,000 per load. $214,000 per load, that's a lot. And it's always interesting to hear what the FBI say. According to the FBI, cargo theft is estimated to cost trucking companies and retailers at least $15 billion to $30 billion a year. It is added to the supply chain disruptions that have fueled inflation. Well, that's what FBI has to say. So they're gonna, you know how they work. They're gonna blame it on just about anything but the reality. Right here is a graph of CargoNet yearly incident analysis. So you can see here from 2021 all the way up to 2022. But like I said, these guys are reporting that 2023 is blowing these statistics out of the water. Which takes me back to Jack's report. Are we slowly seeing a Mad Max type of scenario, especially when it comes to this ramping up theft of cargo, food, and beverage? Is this scary new era slowly creeping up on us? And a very good question that he brought up. If the average loss of food and beverage is $214,000, where's the stolen food going? Is it being sold at mom and pop stores or on eBay or some other type of auction sites? Where do you guys think this huge influx of theft with food and beverage, where do you think it's going? Put it down in the comments below and let me know what you think. I know something like this doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you see food and beverage start to take the cake with theft with cargo, guys, we're talking about food and drink. That's the big target these days. That's one of those things you notice when you're keeping both eyes wide open. With all of our food industry fires and explosions and different types of attack on our food industry, food and beverage is going to have a higher value than what you might think in the coming future, whether you see it at your local supermarket or not. We all certainly see food inflation, some food shortages in some areas, and there'll be more inflation in 2023. There'll be more food shortages on certain things in 2023. But like I said, the reality of it is everything's dwindling down. Food and beverage will get sold to the highest bidder. Some people worry that we're not going to be the highest bidder. And as certain things become scarce, the price is going to go through the roof. Now, some of us see some crazy inflation, not too bad on the food shortages right now in our face. But definitely with reports like this, guys, pay attention. High chance that it's going to get real interesting. And for those of you that just don't believe in the food shortages, well, believe in the inflation. And what happens when the inflation gets so through the roof and certain people can't afford it? Desperate people will turn to desperate measures. So no matter what, high possibility that this will affect everyone. More reason to be prepping up for emergency preparedness. I'm not sure if you guys have looked at our categories on our channel, but we've got prepping categories, we've got food storage categories, tons of great videos on long-term food storage, lots on skills and how-tos. So in case you're new to our community or you missed some of these videos and you guys need to sharpen some of your skills with your emergency preparedness or your prepping, be sure to check some of those videos out. I thought this article was a good precursor to what you guys might be wanting to think about. As I know more, I'll keep you guys posted. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you on the next one.